Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, and continuing on in my mid-season roundup, we have Legends of Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 9. This is Beebo, the God of War. There's a squirrel out there. Darby's barking at it. He's fine. So yeah, Beebo, the God of War. This is one of the most ridiculous episodes of Legend of Tomorrow. So, first off, continuing on from Crisis on Earth X, Martin Stein is still dead, and the team is still trying to cope with that. Again, continuing on, Leo Snart is still there, and that's about that. So yeah. So we cut to the fifth night of Hanukkah in 1992 at Toys R We. I wonder if they couldn't get the rights to Toys R Us, or heck, maybe Toys R We was a store in 1992 and I just didn't know that. I should probably stop rocking so I don't look like a weirdo. It's a recliner, but just so it doesn't look strange to keep. Yeah, I'm gonna stop moving. So yeah, it cuts to Toys R We, where we see a young Martin Stein, and he is trying to get a toy for his daughter Lily, and it's Beebo, a sort of Tickle Me Elmo kind of toy. But the store is all out, except for one. Everyone sees one up there, and they all rush to go get it. Martin, being the genius he is, he figures out how he can get it just by standing there, by getting a toy bow and arrow with like a dart arrow. And at this point they start playing the arrow theme, which is so cool. And he takes it and he shoots a plane that's hanging, a toy plane that's hanging. The toy plane swings. It hits a sign, the sign swings and whacks the Beebo toy, and it falls right over into his arms. And then everyone wants to go after him, so he starts running away from the mob until eventually he is just transported to the Viking era. Because guess what? He's the anachronism. We cut back to the Legends. They're still coping with the loss of older Martin Stein. Leo Snart is trying to help them with a puppet of Professor Stein, which is stupid. I love all their reactions to it. Like, Amaya is like, "This is wrong. You shouldn't do this." Ray is like, "Oh yeah, well there are some questions I still have for Marty." Nate is actually schooling Snart on how to do a Martin Stein impression, which is funny. Mick, when it cuts to Mick, he's just beating the puppet to death. Well, puppet death, but... And he's like, you have a lot of pent-up anger with Professor Stein. And Mick is like, "No, I just hate puppets." So, classic Mick. When it cuts to Jax, immediately Snart's like, "I'm going to put the puppet away. I can see that was a bad idea." So yeah. But anyway, they all find out about the anachronism because it's a level 12 anachronism, which has never been done before. The anachronism scale from the Time Bureau has always gone up to 10. But Gideon says 10 is not a good enough number, so it went to 12. So yeah, so basically what they find out is that Leif Erikson actually conquered North America, which is not how history goes. Nate even says Leif Erikson did discover America before Columbus did, by about 500 years. But he got so sick and tired of, all the wars, and, he had just converted to Christianity, so he wanted peace, so he took all of his people back to Finland. Did he say Finland? No, Greenland. So, yeah. Did they say they were in Finland? I think they did, which is strange, but whatever. But because of the anachronism, he keeps going on, and he conquers North America, or as he names it, New Valhalla. Ow, my arm. I really messed up my arm. I don't know why. Anyway, so they go back to figure out what the anachronism is, and they overhear them talking about well, we still have the blue god. He'll tell us what to do, and so eventually they look over and they see young Martin Stein in like a trap. He's tied up in ropes and stuff, and so Jax immediately goes over and tries to save him, and he does. And they all end up escaping, and Leif Erikson's sister says, no matter, we still have our blue god. And then you see these guys, they carry out the blue god, and it's Beebo. They worship Beebo. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And they have like a wreath, like a laurel crown, I guess. Is that how you say it? Laurel. Sorry. That's a thing I do, is that anytime I hear the name Laurel, like Laurel Lance, I always say it like Detective Lance. Laurel. And then that generally devolves into the hood guy, because that's also fun to say. Does he want back in already? 1 second. Okay, I'm going to do this while looking at you. Then I'm going to look back there. This was a bad idea. Yeah, he's not coming in. It's the coldest day, and he's spent the most time out there. He's going to have to get some sleep. So yeah. So they worship Beebo, and we go through this whole thing of trying to get Beebo out of there. And eventually, what ends up happening is that Mick just destroys Beebo, like, sets it on fire, which is hilarious. That clock is going off. Ugh, excuse me. But that's alright, because now they don't have Beebo Day or whatever, because they actually, when they call Agent Sharp, she actually says, like, oh, well, it'll be a great, Beebo Day, and she's like, that's part of the anachronism, isn't it? Agent Sharp, who does show up in this episode several times. Come on, Darby. Agent Sharp, who shows up in this episode several times, but... Okay, then you're staying out there. I don't care anymore. I'm tired of him doing that. He will whine at the door and then not come in. So, please ignore him. He's going to stay out there for a while. Agent Sharp is in this a lot, and it's interesting. You can kind of tell that Sarah's going to bang her at some point in this show. It's, like, plainly obvious, because, I don't know, it's just... They even, like, drop a line where it's like, well, where is your husband? And Agent Sharp is like, oh, I'm not really the husband type. And Sarah just kind of gives her a look like that. So, they haven't banged, but I'm sure they will. Agent Sharp, who's looking fine, I will say, because... Like, she let down her hair. She's looking good. Moving on. So, yeah. So, don't worry. There's no more Beebo Day, but there is Odin's Day. And they think, what are you talking about, Odin's Day? And Then they see a bolt of lightning, and there's Odin. Actually, it's Damien Dark dressed as Odin. And he takes over, basically. Him and Nora. Alright, so, oh my gosh. Okay, sit down. So Darby came in. So I'm going to keep talking while apparently Darby's going to sit on me. Okay, enough. Alright. Sit, lie down. Okay, so yeah, Odin, Damien Dark, comes in with his daughter Nora. Oh my gosh. You would just lie down. You need to go to sleep. You are really tired. Okay, and now you're stepping on my stomach. Use that. Oh, Darby, you are heavier than you look. Lie down. Darby, lie down. Oh my gosh. So Damien Dark comes in, and so they have to figure out a way to get rid of him. So they go through, there's this like scene where they try and come up with plans on how to beat Dark, which is really cool and interesting. And eventually they figure out how to get rid of Damien Dark is to hurt his daughter. So Heatwave goes over and starts blasting her, but she holds it back because she has magic. Citizen Cold comes over and starts blasting her. She holds that, and then they cross the streams and knock her out. Damien Dark feels this. He like senses it in the Force or something. He goes over and he has like his rock, and he's about to get out of there. Sarah goes over, touches Damien Dark, and she's transported to... Hey, you get off of there. Sorry, he's counter-surfing right now. So yeah. So she gets transported to another dimension. Sorry, Darby knocked the camera over a little. She gets transported to another dimension where she meets Mullis. Yeah, remember Mullis? Rip talked about Mullis in this. Darby just got his loudest toy. Alright, I'm going to make this quick. And now he's up here too. So, Mullis is basically like, Captain Lance, yes, I know of you. And he says something, based to the effect of, I will destroy you or something. And, yeah, she gets sucked out of there, actually by Agent Sharp, who saves her. Oh, you freaking camera hog. So, yeah. Well, hey, we're gonna get a lot of views with you in here. Good boy. Alright, so yeah, Agent Sharp, like, pulls her out of the dimension somehow. We're not exactly sure how, but yeah, and that's kind of where the episode ends. Well, with the exception of, oh my gosh. So Jax, this entire episode has been Jax trying to save Stein. Like, he wants to tell Stein of his death. Alright, I gotta wrap this up. So, he gives, in the classic Back to the Future style, he gives Stein a letter. Stein doesn't read it, like Doc Brown does. So, he's still dead, and Jax decides that he's going to leave the team for a little while. And when he does, guess who shows up? John Constantine shows up, that's who. And, okay, no biting. So, John Constantine shows up at the end, he's like, I need your help with something. And that's where the episode ends. So, overall, as we all look at Darby's butt, this was a really great episode. This was a lot of fun. It's exactly what you would expect from Legends of Tomorrow, and it's so funny with the whole Beebo thing. So yeah. Oh my gosh, Darby. You are ridiculous. So yeah. Yeah, he's biting me. It's fine. So yeah. Really good episode. If there's another great episode that I feel like talking about, I'm gonna do a review on it. I don't know if I mentioned that in this video, but I mentioned that in Flash and Supergirl. So yeah. Okay. End cards are going to pop up right about now. You can click on those. There should be an Arrowverse playlist right here. If you want to stay up to date on all my, on when I'm going to be doing reviews of these shows and stuff, you can follow me on Twitter, at 7th Hour Films, and that's basically it. I'm Alex, and this is Darby from 7th Hour Films, signing off. Have a good one. Ugh.